Greetings then, boys and girls. I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, shit, Ed, your videos are like buses. You don't see one for ages, then two come along practically at once. Well, this was just going to be another quick one anyway, because I got thinking earlier. I was talking to my friend. I was just on the way to the shop, by the way, in case you were wondering why I'm walking through some random housing estate. But I got talking to a friend earlier on the phone, and we were talking about the police, as I often do. And he mentioned to me that he reckons a lot of the reason why there's such a disconnect with the police and the people is because back in the day, when you used to have community police officers, they'd be around and you'd talk with them, and they'd actually be a part of the community. And then he started talking about how he told me something I did actually know. So the policeman's whistle, so that was used because if anybody was ever committing a crime, a policeman would blow his whistle, and because he was so involved in the community, the members of the community, they'd hear the whistle and they'd go and help him. And I can't imagine that would happen at any point now. But anyway, it got me thinking about my interactions with the police, and especially as well because I mentioned yesterday about somebody saying about majority of the auditors having previous convictions and stuff. And I thought to myself about something, and so I'll tell you another little story. So it's not really a story, but when I was younger, I had two passions in my life. That was playing rugby and watching rugby. Now, I lived rugby. I ate, I slept, I drank. Everything I did was rugby. And then I thought to myself, my first ever rugby ball came from a police officer. His name was Jim Knapp, PC Jim Knapp. And he was a community police officer where I grew up. And then he was really nice, man. He'd always come and, I grew up on an estate, so I'm an estate boy. I'd be around with my mates, knocking around, causing trouble, as you did, right? But he was never horrible to us, this one. There's another officer as well, who's now an inspector, I believe, or the last I knew he was an inspector, and that was Clive Thomas, who was also very nice to me. So, I guess really the sole purpose for this video is for me just to highlight that it's not only negative interactions that I've had with the police, I've had positive interactions with them also. And anyway, when I was thinking about all this, it occurred to me that I never actually had a chance to say thank you for that rugby ball. And although to that police constable, he may have just stopped somebody from getting into trouble once or twice, when I think about it, it was actually that policeman who gave me something that I could have potentially made something with myself with. The fact that I didn't is not his fault. I blame that on women, weed and alcohol. But when I think back to it, my very first standout interaction with a police constable was a proper and decent one. And I never really gave him the thanks he deserved for actually trying to put me on a better path than potentially the one that I was on. So if you're out there, Jim Knapp, thanks, mate. I appreciate what you did. And just get onto your other gang members and tell them to follow some suit. But that was it really. I was just on the way to the shop and I just wanted to share. So yeah, that was it, guys. Anyway, it's a lush day. I know it's all built up where I am. Look, I live in a new build and everything looks like shit right now because it's just building work. But yeah, that was it really. So blessings, PC Jim Knapp. I hope you're a sergeant now. And you, Clive. I remember you used to look after my mum when I was younger and I couldn't. I remember you looking out for us, so yeah. Blessings to you, bro. Anyway, and everybody else, you know the score. Peace.